Well, welcome back to Demonology, an actual play podcast. We're in season 3, and we are playing this season The House Crosses, which is taking place in Denmark, which I remember this time, uh, but we're not there yet. And today's vibe is solemn. Everybody at home, say that with us. Today's vibe is solemn.
Solemn.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm Alex. I'm the medium, and my pronouns are he, they.
I am Siobhan. I'll do that again. I was confused. I'll cut this out. I am Siobhan. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing Benedict Brideshead, Ritualist.
Hi, I'm Fionn. My pronouns are he, him, and I'll be playing Sir Rumpet Umpet, a druid.
Hi, my name is Felix. I use they, them pronouns, and I am playing as Daffodil, who is the Feybound.
Hi, I'm Sen. My pronouns are they, them, and I will be playing Alder, who is a Presidium Knight.
Nailed it, mate.
Real. Wow. Fab. Last time, you got on a boat to go to Denmark. You all met up and had a nice flirt, / fear, which of course was last week's vibe. Then, right at the end, you were investigating a suspicious passenger who you believed to be, let me get the name, Reginald Dunwaldroth, who is an associate of one of Benedict Brideshead's nemesis, a man called Desmond Ogborn. You managed to discern that Desmond's companion, familiar, best friend, Brian, the Cramplekin, which is like a little imp demon that likes headbutting things, was definitely on board because Brian would come up to the deck every night to look at the moon. It also appeared that there were 3 sort of like guards who had a very weird vibe and were leaving sort of like shed skin, but also like a bit sticky on the floor of their cabin.
Goddamn body horror.
Real horrid vibes, and also had sort of like little lumpy movements like the scarabs in the mummy moving under their skin. You then, the last thing you saw was Daffodil was invisible and peeked open the door to the cabin where you assumed to see Reginald Dunwaldroth, but instead you saw Desmond Ogborn, who Daffodil doesn't necessarily recognize. Immediately then, the guard that you had just disturbed shot over and shut the door, and I believe I don't remember what Desmond said, but it was something along the lines of, "Oh dear." It was a very. I think we need to play out the moment to moment of this, because my instinct usually at the start of a session is to go, okay, well, it's a few hours later, but I don't think we reasonably can do that. Let's not go straight to the action. Let's go back onto the deck and sort of see where I think we've got Benedict and Rumpet. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have one of the guards with you, or 2?
2, I think. Yeah.
I think
And
2,
there's
yeah.
Yes.
Because there was one downstairs asleep, which was woken up by Daffodil. So there are 2 of the guards on the deck. They are, as last time, pretending to be very human by being interested in the snow, which now that you see it, they are sort of like uncanny valleying a lot. Like they will occasionally just sort of like stick out their tongue to have a bit of snow land on it and then go, yes, snow. Delightful. What a sensation.
Rumpet.
Yes.
I think perhaps we've done too much with the Gan Cannon. Did you summon it?
Oh, yes, of course.
You mean the sexy little man who's dancing around the maypole?
Yes.
No, that's nothing to do with me. I like him though. I might go offer him some cabin wine.
Yes, I think he'll be good for our purposes. Those two there,
Yes.
Hogwarts guards.
Do you want to
Something
push
is-
them over the side, or do you just want to? Do you want to eat the snow with them? I think that the snow is very tasty.
No. Something is odd about them.
Do you want to do some sort of recollection test?
No, I wish to perceive them.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Oh, well, so okay, what sort of thing are you looking out for here? Are you like you're studying them, but what are you trying to discern?
Well, as something is going on with them that is weird, non-human, I would like to try and perceive either with my use of veterinary science, with my use of demonology and bad taxonomy, or with druidic and fey studies. I want to see if just by looking at them for long enough, Benedict can determine what might be going on under the surface.
I will give you one of those, but I won't say which one.
Tease.
I will go for demonology and bad taxonomy.
Well, no. You're getting one of them, but I'm not telling you which one it is. So
I see.
Your knowledge will assist you, but you don't know which knowledge is assisting you until potentially you succeed. You know what I mean?
I have 2 intelligence, 1 perception. There goes the knowledge. Here's 46. Woo!
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
Bitch.
Oh, thank God.
That's a 5. Okay, so you are perceiving, and that dice is your knowledge dice, is it not? Let's see. Be really helpful if you saw. All right, you see. So the one that you brought up to the deck was the one that you saw the sort of like lump moving under their skin, the scarab mummy. You see, sort of like when they think that a lot of people aren't looking, you see it spit over the side of the ship, and instead of like, you know, bit of sort of like globby saliva, what it is sort of like a clear gray oozy liquid, which you know is what essentially I'm gonna just say it is sort of liquid soul.
Oh,
and
That's disgusting.
the creature that you might know that is made of this is, as Fionn adequately surmised, is a fulgnid.
You know what? It's actually so tiring being right all of the time. It's exhausting.
You shot straight down the line, tugged the computer off. You blew up the Death Star. So a fulgnid is a hideous mass of melting flesh that occupies a vaguely bulbous human shape. They are a voiceless scream of wicked sinners, shuttered forever into a tortured existence. They're sort of
sounds like something Siobhan wrote. I'm sorry, that sounds like Siobhan's words.
I think Siobhan wrote this character, but also I think that I came up with melting fleshy.
This was a team effort.
Yeah, this is my body horror.
It sounds like
Siobhan's eloquence.
You have forgotten that Wilcox is disgusting.
I am.
I never forget that Wilcox is disgusting.
Just a little freak.
I love it. So what you can surmise is happening is this person is just full of fulgnid.
Oh, Benedict actually, when he sees him spit, takes out his handkerchief and covers his mouth to stop a gag.
Are you going to vomit? Here, drink some of this, and I take out a huge canteen and pass it over to him.
I'll also give you that the other one up here acts differently, but I won't go into detail on that. You surmise that they are possibly not a fulgnid just stuffed into a human body. You can also
like stuck inside a human body.
You can like metatextually. Well, actually,
that is a thing that fulgnids do.
Unfortunately, you can surmise that there are 7 inside that that one. But the other one is assumedly metatextually, the one downstairs is also a Fugnid, or 7 of them.
7,
and this
just
one
like
upstairs.
men's body wash, 7 and 1.
This is for your balls, for waxing, to
What are the
stimulate leg
extra
hair growth.
for? What are they adding on in there? You can drink it as a mouthwash.
Rumpus,
You're not
Rumpus,
supposed to
Dental
drink
floss when you
mouthwash.
dry it.
Rumpus, I have a horrible suspicion that one of those men is in fact 7 oozy, fleshy monstrosities poured into a human skin.
Now, I don't know what it was about fleshy human monstrosities, but I'm slightly erect now. Goddamn fucking Daffodil. I'm so horny. Oh!
Between Daffodil and the Gankana, I imagine you are horribly turgid, but there is work to be done.
Tremendous. All right, should we kill them? And I start
No.
reaching for my axe.
No. If we split open this skin suit, 7 abominations will pour across the deck.
Yes, it will
And they
get slightly
swim.
worse temporarily, but also, like, I think definitely Benedict knows that they're not really a challenge for you. Like, you could smash up some Fulgmin, or it wouldn't really be an issue.
Once they are open, all it will do is cause hysteria. I could then
very true.
immediately strike them from the sky with the thunder of God, but that itself would cause hysteria.
Well, yes, I imagine it would. Okay, so what we should do is keep an eye on the men who aren't men, but are fleshy souls, you say? Fleshy souls?
Yes.
Right. So we look at the fleshy souls, we go downstairs. Do you reckon that the fleshy souls have anything to do with the man downstairs?
Yes, I have a horrible suspicion. Ogborn is a summoner, from what I recall, with Brian being his first.
Yeah, you're right.
Speaking of downstairs, well, I'll give you one. Is there anything you'd like to do? Because it sounded like you decided it's best not to act on this knowledge right now because it will just cause hysteria, which is a very astute observation, because it would.
I, before we move along, Benedict has 2 clue tokens. He's multi-classed with an investigator. Could I take this as a clue token for noticeable gate?
Oh, totally. Hold on. Let me. Can you?
Noticeable gates. When following the tracks of a creature, you may ask 3 questions of the medium, such as how fast were they moving, what is their exact number, and how big are they? I think sort of holistically, I have ascertained that.
Yeah. I think, yeah, take that clue. You can expend that then later on as you wish.
Very good.
I would allow you to expend it to get limited information off the other guard if you wish right now, but I won't give you sort of like I won't give you all of those details because it frankly wouldn't be possible. It's too masked.
I'll hold it in the back pocket.
Okay. So should we slip downstairs?
That's what he said.
Daffodil, the bulbous guard, who has chased you out of their quarters, lurches as they see the door to Desmond's cabin open, to shut the door. What is it that you would like to do?
Step inside.
Step inside. Very well. You're still invisible.
I am aware.
Alder, you see Daffodil step inside. You see the guard like lurch to shut the door, which I would assume does happen. You're invisible. You're closer to the door than this other person. I'm not going to make you roll to get inside the room because also it's not a good thing. And I'm fine with that happening. Alder, do you react to this in any way?
I know what's like happening. Can you just quickly
The
repeat
setting
it?
up downstairs is that I was invisible in front of the room, opened the door, was greeted with oh my, and stepped inside. So the only people in the hallway anymore are yourself and the fake guard, who has just shut the door.
And you said that I can get into the room, did you say?
Daffodil can, because Daffodil was right up to the door. For you, it would be
Kind of like slipping in, or
it would be more tricky because I think you're equidistant. The door is equidistant to you and the guard, so you would have to like rush to get in, whereas Daffodil can just step inside before the door closes.
would
So
it
if
be
you would-
worth me trying to get in?
I think it would be worth having another body in the room with Desmond Ogborn.
Yeah, actually, that is a good idea. So I'm just reacting to this fake guard. Am I like aware that like because what's happening above deck is they're becoming aware that they're not,
No, there would be no
Real.
way for us to
so
know.
we didn't know.
But yeah, this sounds to me like some kind of some kind of dexterity. Do you have that?
Yeah, I have dexterity and transport and
What's
athletics.
your fitness score? The number
2.
2. All right, that's a pretty good roll for you. 3 dice. Do you have any knowledges that you think would be able to assist you acting quickly to get through a door?
I don't think so. I mean, it might be like an insane stretch that's saying blacksmithing, just like understanding how a door works, but that would mean that I'm planning on like breaking the door. So no.
I do think that is a good stretch.
Understanding how a door works.
Because,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
no, first off, if you've
Hinges
seen
and a
Pirates
handle.
of the Caribbean, okay.
I think if you were trapped inside a room and you were like, "Can I knock some hinges off?" then I'd be like, "Blacksmithing, yeah, totally." I think, "Can I run past some hinges?"
Okay.
No, but that's
I
3
don't- I don't
dice.
have
That's 3 dice, so that's good. So 3d6 if you want to roll that in. The Discord, which is !r space 3d6. I always fear that I'm crossing roll 20 and oh no.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no. So that's 3 failures. Would you like to? You could expend a fate point to re-roll. That's up to you. The rest of the group might decide that is not a good idea. But
I don't think it's a good idea. But
So-
I just don't know what the consequences are of not trying again.
You don't get in the room.
you don't get in the room, but also the guard definitely
Yeah.
sees you as they shut the door.
I'm uncomfortable with being around the guard. I don't know how Alder feels about it, and they're more anxious than I am. So I don't want it to be a situation where Alder acts out in a way that puts everyone else at risk. Like, do they aggressive out of just pure shock? Like that's just the concern.
So I think what happens is you rush to get inside the room. The guard rushes and gets there. Is maybe like just a bit closer, or like you take a moment to decide if you need to rush inside the room or not. And the door just shuts and slams. And the guard just looks at you and says, "This isn't your room."
Can I add in a little extra and say that the door hit Alder in the face, causing them to
Absolutely
stumble backwards?
You absolutely can add that.
And
Always.
Alder looks at this fake guard with a half bloody nose and feelings of shock, trying to understand exactly what just happened. And now they have to deal with this guard. I would say that they are becoming frustrated and aggressive.
What's your immediate reaction of how to deal with this? Is it run away? Is it fight them? Do you still want to get through the door? What's your vibe
There would be
here?
a confrontation. She would probably be like, "Go fuck yourself," just like out of pure reaction. Then they'd realize what they just said and probably double down on that. So there might be a bit of a tiff.
I think they say in return, "Go fuck yourself in your own room."
I fucking will, mate. Now you try. You want to help me out with that? I'll let you.
Daffodil, you start to hear a commotion on the other side of the door. It doesn't. I don't think unless you bring it to blows, it will, because I don't think this guard wants to be distracted. If you want to distract this guard, I think you could, but
Yes. Alder starts flirting with the guard aggressively.
I thought that you asking them to help you fuck yourself was flirting.
Starts pleading intensely. Please help me fuck myself.
Does
Please me
this do
to help
anything
you.
for you? Does this do anything? Do I look like I need to be fucked? I say yes. Come with me.
What is your sway, and do you have persuasion
Hang on. Let me go. Sorry,
or
where does that
command?
live? I have
Sway.
command.
Fuck me.
Oh right, command.
I have etiquette.
I don't think this is
I don't
etiquette.
think this is etiquette.
I don't even know why I put that in there, to be honest.
Knowledge of
performance,
blacksmithing.
I have command, etiquette. These are ones I think that might help out. So command, performance, and persuasion.
I'm. Oh, you've got persuasion. Yeah, like that's definitely persuasion. What's your number in sway?
1.
1. So that's 2 dice. Have you got a knowledge that you think could help? I'll tell you at this point. Demonology and bound taxonomy, if you do have that, will help you.
I have. Okay, so my first thought is these are both stretches. Military tactics. Maybe there's some sort of war effort behind flirting, or
I think
Celtic.
it's.
I could start flirting in Celtic, in Gaelic.
I think military tactics is more battlefield than sort of like spycraft, which this feels more like.
Isn't love a battlefield?
Wow, beautiful. That is 2 dice though. Very poetic, but 2 dice.
However, this is commanding a guard, so military tactics should apply.
Guards,
They aren't
this
using
isn't a
command,
military
they're
guard.
using persuasion.
I mean, Alder could just be like, "Have you ever been on the battlefield and you found your first love? What if you haven't? Here I am."
I think it's 2 dice. I think it's 2 dice.
Is that R2D3?
Yeah. 2d6. That's a 6. So this could be a success if you want it to be. So yep, you do. Taking the devil's bargain immediately, straight off the bat. Brilliant. Love it. Roll me 2d6.
Want me to do that again?
Yes, please. What we got?
I think it's thick and twisted. They make us roll these, Wilcox.
3. I try to avoid rolling dice at all costs. Oh goodness. I love it.
I don't actually understand.
Matt has descended really quickly from fighting to trying to fuck, and I am just really looking forward to Alder trying to negotiate the 7 trapped spirits inside the body of this skin suit.
I mean, you could also try flirting with it.
Oh no, I'm upstairs observing. I'm seeing none of this.
Or just in case.
The guard sort of like stops and just sort of says, "It has been so long." And we won't go further into this, but does follow you. And we can come back to that at a different point. But you got the guard away for the time being. We'll deal with that later. Inside the room, Daffodil, Desmond eerily sort of follows your movement a little bit, and sort of like you see like a sniff as this sort of like lean, tall man just sort of like tracks some presence here, but then just sort of sniffs and ignores. And he clutches something from outside of his coat, which is a necklace with an eagle's talon, and he grips it very tightly. and he starts to move over to a chest in the corner.
I observe.
He fishes out amongst. This isn't the chest that you managed to steal from. This isn't Brian's chest. This is one that was loaded in shortly before. And he fishes out a absolutely massive, sort of like curled horn, like a music horn, but sort of like of horn material, like animal horn material, like not elephant ivory, assumedly, but like some form of horn. Doesn't proceed to blow on it, but does fish it out, places it on the table, and you see him just sort of like start to think. And then he goes over to the door and he knocks on it. And there's no one on the other side. Like this is the door to outside. And he knocks on it and there's no response. And he knocks on the wall to the adjoining room and there's no response. And you just hear him mutter, "Fuck." And he just opens the door.
Oh, and does what?
Steps outside.
Oh,
Take the
how
horn.
how big is this chest?
Oh, sorry. He is taking the horn with him.
Oh.
How big is this chest?
Like it is a travel trunk. It is quite large. It is sort of like a person could snuggle up inside and not be comfortable.
Okay. I have a very, very specific question. If I were to piss around this trunk, would I be able to cover the floor underneath it?
I think I know what you're doing. Yeah, probably. I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
When engaging in melting into the earth, can we take objects with us, considering that we transport ourselves and everything we're carrying?
Yeah. Are you talking about the trunk?
The trunk.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Then
I don't think you'd be able to take two trunks with you, but I think one trunk is reasonable. Yeah.
I will piss under the trunk, place myself upon it, and cast melt into water.
Great.
To transport this trunk into our room.
I will just ask, is there a significant water source for it to emerge from?
My cock.
Oh, you're going to then piss in your room as well to allow...
Oh, does it have to... I thought that I was just going to emerge in a different place, that just the transportation medium is that instead of earth, it's now water.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have to... There doesn't have to be a connecting water source. I'm allowing that because obviously, but there does need to be another. I will allow you to do this and then head back and piss in your room. I just thought it would be fun to see the practicalities of that. Cool. So you follow out of the
I will
door.
say that you can. The consequence could be that the water, if arriving on dry land, I have to transport the piss with me. Which, of course, is flavorful and aromatic.
Of course.
Smells like pumpkin spice latte.
So I think you piss and then you open the door and you step outside and you see Desmond is heading deeper into the ship, like down below crew quarters, but you head to your own room and piss and transport the chest, the trunk. So, you hear strange sounds from the adjoining room, but no, your room. No, you head back to your room and there is a guard in there with Alder, if that's where you went, Alder.
Yep.
Well, we had 2 rooms, did we not?
But you're sharing the room with Alder.
Wait, Alder was spending a lot of time in the brig.
Bring the guard down to the brig. That would be absolutely fine. Happy for this to have been what you did.
It would make perfect sense. And if you will allow it, once Alder is done and finished with the deed, they lock this fake guard in. Is that possible? Since it is the brig.
Oh. Well, so I cannot stress how ungodly horrifying the act that might have occurred is, but we don't have to go into it. So I think it is probably a roll to lock them in the brig.
I will offer a substantial contribution from Guillermo del Toro. Squelching continues. That's
Thank
what
you.
happened.
Well, yeah. I'll leave it up to you if you've got any suggestions as to what you might use as a tactic to lock this individual, this demon whom you have intercoursed with. Of all of the demons,
This is one of the least sexy of any demon in the game.
so true.
Yeah, Alder doesn't have a preference, okay? Don't judge.
Oh, there's no preference, Alder, and then there's a massive oozing slime and flesh.
So if I'm gonna roll, I don't know what in particular. Maybe, I mean, it doesn't take much to like lock them in. It would have to be like some sort of trickery involved, I guess. Or maybe he's just asleep.
I'll let you. We have established that these guards do not sleep. They simulate it by lying down and pretending with their eyes closed. You can pitch whichever you think would be a good one. Like if you got good skullduggery.
Oh yeah. I only have. I mean, I've got skullduggery and 1 point in intelligence.
Wilcox, could this be argued as a military tactic?
I'll allow it. I'll allow a brig to be a military tactic. Yeah, what's good for you? Is it fitness, constitution, sway, virtue, intelligence? I don't imagine there's much virtue that could go into this.
I would have to say it would be intelligence, just because if they don't sleep, then there's nothing much else to do than to be smart about it.
Skullduggery, military tactics, 1 intelligence is 3 dice. That's a 4, so that's a partial success. And I think the partial success is... Oh, yeah, sorry. I really can't stop being horrible with them. You slip away and you lock the door, and then pretty much immediately the guard just sort of like runs up to the gate and starts rattling it. I'm imagining that there's a gate. This seems like some sort of brig situation, or is it a wooden room with a like heavy wooden door and sort of like a little slat?
I was imagining the cast iron bars and welding.
This is good. This is what I was working with in my head, but I could work with the heavy wooden door. What starts to happen is you see through the bars. The guard just starts vomiting this grey soul quality until there is just sort of like one shape on the ground with sort of like a facial features just sort of like scattered about, and then proceeds to do this 6 more times until there are 7 of these creatures in the brig, and they start very slowly just sort of like oozing towards the bars to just squeeze themselves through.
Alder, come and get help! Alder, come and get help!
But it's very slow. It is so horrible.
Oh no, that's the ship. Alder, come and get help!
Ominous squelching.
Yeah.
No.
So they are proceeding to squeeze themselves slowly through the bars, which it takes considerable effort, and you just sort of like hear as they're starting to squeeze, like just hear sort of like air like escaping from the form that they have, and also just like a
oh no.
Air
Queefs
escaping
of
from the
anguish.
form is the name of my sex tape.
Yeah, it's can't stress enough. It's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. I think I've stressed it enough, actually.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is clearly horrible. So Alder, they're stuck there for a short period. Is the partial success there? So you can run away.
I guess. I mean, I guess that's the only thing that they can do. But
Or you could choose to stay and just start trying to like stamp on these things. But like I will say there's a possibility they overwhelm one person. They're not, you can see them. They're just sort of like lumps on the floor. They're not especially powerful, but they are still.
like, does anything happen upon
Lumps.
contact? Do they engulf?
No,
my
no.
foot as I stamp on them? Okay.
They are just sort of lumps of being.
Okay, so the best thing I can think of is very Alder-like, is that they stood there for a good minute, in shock, obviously, trying to understand what the actual hell is happening, and out of panic, start to, with whatever is in their hand at a given moment, going, "Yeah, get back! Oh, what the fuck?" And then stamps on it. Screaming, and then runs around in a little circle, just a tiny circle, and then bolts out of the door.
I'll add one final. So like as you just sort of like stamp on one, you just sort of like again air escaping, and you just hear like,
Oh.
Then Alder's like, "Holy fucking shit!"
and the last detail I'll leave is the guard's body is now deflated. It is empty.
Alder runs, and they're yelling, "Goo, goo, goo!"
As you are running, you pass by Desmond slowly and calmly walking deeper into the ship as you climb higher. I don't think there's any reason why either of you would recognize each other, but you do see a tall, slender man, older slender man with a giant horn walking down the stairs, and you've been shouting "goo." I think Desmond says, "Are you well?"
The mind is completely connected to the body in this moment, and Alder, being in the state that she's in, attempts to reach out for the horn with the intention of scooping up the goo.
Well, I guess roll a dexterity. I was like, Alder didn't get a chance to roll much last session.
Yeah, and I was too nervous to even try, to be honest.
Alder's doing everything this session.
Don't the boys like to hear about maths?
No, we can keep that.
We can keep that.
I'm cutting all of this, by the way. Don't the boys like to hear about maths? That's all we need. That's all we need.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
I think like after this session, or maybe during the break, maybe someone can just like type it down in the chat, so I can
sure.
write
I
it.
can
in
do
my
that
little
right now
book.
for you, darling.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, for well, have you got a knowledge that you might be able to use to help?
To scoop up goo with a horn.
Well, this is to nab the horn off the.
Nab it.
Yeah.
The only
Off the
thing
man
I
who is a
have
witch.
would be military tactics. It's like the closest thing out of everything.
Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
don't know.
So I think 3 dice. 3 dice is good.
Okay, so that'll be 3d6, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting the hang of this.
Are
And I also just don't understand the results. Like,
so a 5 is a success on its own. A 4 is a success with a consequence. And a 6 is a devil's bargain, which means you will roll on a table of bad things that will happen as a consequence. And the bad things on the devil's bargain could be related, could be totally unrelated, but are not are usually worse or an extra complication on top of what the consequences of 4 would be. So, for example, when you rolled a 4 earlier, you did manage to lock the gate behind the guard, but the guard then proceeded to turn into a lot of fleshy lumps that could squeeze themselves through the bars. So if you accept the 6 as a success, you will get a consequence. But you could simply not accept it as a success and continue on, and it would be fine. I'll say in this situation, if you fail this, you can just proceed to run past Desmond and back upstairs, no issue, and Desmond will go on his way. If you do succeed this, you will get this horn from Desmond.
Alder, I think that we are at the precipice of disaster.
Yeah, I feel like the consequences will be when Alder returns to the room to scoop up the goo. I feel like that might be
That will be another considerable task. Also, yeah. So I don't. I am purely. This is an object that this man wants, and you are trying to snatch it from him.
Take it.
I would advise against it.
Take it.
I would advise against taking Devil's Bargain immediately after the last Devil's Bargain.
Yes, you still don't know what the other Devil's Bargain is.
Do it. Ruin this travel ship.
I'll say there is a possibility that if you take this Devil's Bargain, this ship could sink. Like there
Excellent.
are bad Devil's Bargains at the very high end that
Do
could
it.
cause catastrophe.
Do
That's
it.
literally what they're called, catastrophes.
Oh, I mean, Alder can swim, so yeah, I'll take it.
Oh,
shit!
fucking hell.
Roll 2d6 as you grab this horn.
Hang on.
2 and 5. Okay, that's
Excellent.
not. Could be
Very
worse.
well done, my dear.
Oh, goodness.
Felix, what are you doing?
Got a devil on my shoulder. Go.
I'm. This is. I can't think of another thing for this to be. You snatch the horn, and it immediately vanishes.
Yeah, love that shit. Love that.
Like you take it, it goes out of Desmond's hands. You are holding it, and then you are not holding it. And as you are sort of like clasping your hand around it, your hand just sort of like goes in, and it is just not there. And Desmond looks at you with a bewildered rage of just, do you know what you have done?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. It was in my hands, and now it's fucking gone. Fuck just happened?
Who are you?
Who the fuck are you?
And what are you talking about, goo?
Goo? Goo? Goo? Goo? Get out of my fucking way. I'm leaving.
Can I point out that goo said in a really Scotch accent sounds hilarious? Goo!
Goo? There's fucking goo! And like, can Alder leave as they're leaving? They're yelling back at this person. There's goo! Fucking goo! Goo! There's goo! There's goo!
Desmond's walk
Goo.
turns into a more hurried walk as he heads downstairs. And yeah, that's the last eyes on him for now. As we can return to Alder meeting up with Daffodil, who has purloined the trunk, which is now in a puddle of piss. But in your room.
In this time, I will have liked Daffodil to have dressed. And is there, I'm not sure if I'm misremembering this, but is it possible to cast, what is the thing called? Like a protective thing on the room, on the
A
door?
ward?
Ward?
Yes.
You could, yeah, and those are especially effective against demons. So that is a
What
good
do I
idea.
need to roll for that?
I believe it is a 30 roll, but I might be incorrect because this is
It's a reactive compassion roll.
goodness.
It is only triggered if something tries to enter the wound.
Oh.
Perfect. So, what a great way of doing that. You don't know if it works until it does. And fab. Okay. Yeah, cool. So, you perform a ward on the door, both doors?
Both doors.
Both doors. Cool.
What? Wait, what?
As
both
into
doors?
your room, or your room and Benedict and Rumpet's room?
No, just the one with the trunk.
And
So we can go and spin, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
cool. That's done. It takes a little bit of time, maybe like 10 minutes. Alder
The
comes
time
back
that
up.
it's taken for the fucking and the squelching to happen.
Yeah. Alder is now upstairs.
So I'm in the room with Daffodil.
Yes.
Okay, so Alder enters the room, still very overwhelmed, and they turn to Daffodil and they say, "Listen, Daffodil, you're sexy as fuck. But why does it smell like piss in here? What? You will not believe. Scottish accent for a long time. I'm sorry. You would not believe what my day has been. You are. God bless you. Why does it smell like piss?
And Daffodil will just glance down at the boots that have goop on them and say, I think we might have more serious substances to consider.
Well, I'm already all ears. I've already had, round 2.
Darling, has it happened that you've seen a tall and rather handsome man in your adventures?
Handsome, no. But he had a horn. I think. I think it was there, and now it's gone.
The horn is gone.
It's gone. It's gone. And there's goo. Did I mention the goo?
Would you be ever so kind as to go fetch our collaborators from upstairs, and I will go and see about this goo.
So I'm gonna say 2 things at this point. One is that and this just has not come up, but I will reveal it to you because Alder, you might have noticed at some point. Alder, you are magically compelled to only be able to speak the truth.
That is not a problem with this
It is
character.
really not a problem.
Very straight up.
Yeah, like there were so many points where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you this time," and it was like, "Who are you and what have you done?" There's goo. There was goo. There was indeed goo. It was very true.
That's perfect.
Also, and you're going to be magically compelled to speak the truth, I believe, until the next dawn. So careful with your lying, because if you forget, I'll try and remember.
I promise you won't forget. It's a compulsion.
And at the same time, upstairs, the novelty is wearing off on the snow, but not the Gunkanar, apart from for the guards who are beginning to head back inside.
Yeah.
Rumpet is
and
fully
I believe-
dancing with the Gankana.
I believe
But,
that Brian is also upstairs, but like is you know a Crambolkin in a trench coat.
So Alder's getting everyone, right?
Yes. So Alder heads up.
Alder gets up on deck and sees Rumpet like dancing around the mast in the snow, like with the Gankana, just like, what a merry wee lad! What a merry wee lad!
And Alder just stands there like, I better wake up from this fucking nightmare, otherwise I'm throwing myself overboard.
Alder, what is on your shoes?
You want to fucking guess?
At this point, the 2 other guards have started to head back downstairs.
Do we know
With
that?
Brian.
Some sort of goo.
Alder, did you... No, it's unconscionable. Were you very, very close to a man with bubbly skin at some point today?
Alder makes hard eye contact.
She's doing it again.
Incidentally, I had written down the names of these guards, which at this point is totally irrelevant because they are just 3 demons, or 3 demons in people suits. But they are a mix of genders, and I think it was 2 men and a woman. But I haven't been tracking which one's which. Who cares?
Can the one that Alder bedded be a woman? The woman.
Yeah,
one?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Well, the woman is now just
I can work in a joke there.
a flat out suit of a person downstairs.
Alder.
Wow, Alder confirmed as a turf. You are not a real woman. You are instead 7 flesh souls. No, 7 group souls in a flesh suit.
7 howling meat sacks.
Your estrogen is not real.
Alder, where Where is it?
Where's what?
You know full well what I mean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your shoes
That's a
are
lie.
covered.
That's a lie.
Oh yeah, you can't.
That's you can't lie.
You can't lie.
That's not lying. She's deliberately trying to wind Benedict up.
By lying.
That's a lie.
That's
still
a lie.
Is it though? Okay,
Yes.
fine. Fine. Damn it.
You know full well what I mean.
You can't even lie as a prank.
Of course, I know what you mean. There's goo downstairs. There was a person. I fucked them. Then they deflated. And then I took a horn. And then it vanished. And then there's piss.
A horn. A horn. What? What horn?
One, it's gone.
Who was carrying the horn?
I don't fucking know. He was tall and apparently handsome.
Fuck.
Yeah, okay. As far as Reginald Dunwaldroff, handsome,
Yeah, in a sort of slimy way.
not tall.
He is very tall, yeah.
Oh, okay, so could be Reginald Dunwaldroff.
Dear.
But
Oh,
we know
dear.
it's not.
Like you know it's not. We know it's not. Benedict doesn't know it's not.
Benedict has a pit in his stomach.
Where is Brian? Where is Brian?
You saw Brian go downstairs with the two cards just a moment ago.
Fuck. Rumpet, grab the Gancanner. We're going to our rooms.
Can I make a command check with knowledge of Druidic and Fae studies?
Can you command a Gankana?
Can I command a Gancanner?
I think it's hard because like that they're not going to respond that way. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
yeah. I think notoriously, if you command someone who is drunk to do something, they are going to respond with, "I don't have to do anything."
Yeah.
But you are welcome to command.
I'm gonna.
So 2 successes are required. That
No,
is
I guess
0
nothing.
successes.
I turn to the Gancanner and I'm like, "Hey, come downstairs with us. The shit kicking off."
You can't tell me to do anything.
No, I
But-
suppose I can't.
You can stay for a little while longer and have a dance with me, friend.
I'll see you later.
No,
And
no,
we'll
hold
dance
on.
a little bit.
And he comes over to you and he puts a like hand on your arm and says, "Friend, we've been dancing for a while. We've been having a great time." And then proceeds to like bring out a little flask and says like, "Do you want a little bit of a wee dram?"
I pull out my flask, which is much bigger. I'm like, "Swapsies."
We can do a swapsies, friend. And then he also pulls out a pipe.
Aha, very good.
And I'm afraid you're going to have to make a fortitude test.
Yeah. I think I'm skilled in fortitude.
I would imagine Rumpet is okay at fortitude. This is what you
I got
can-
3 constitution.
I'm so glad that this Gankana is finally doing what you did to Accrington. Oh, 2 5s. You're fine. You
Just gonna
feel
tank it.
you feel as much as you wish the attraction of fancy to this Gankana, but no compulsion to do what he desires.
I pass him some cabin wine. I take a big like drink of his flask, a big puff of his pipe. I kiss him full on the mouth, slap him in the face, and then on his ass, and then I run downstairs.
Sure. Right. Well, a Gankana dealt with is
I will not be taken away from
and-
Fernando
yeah, so
Fernando.
the 3 of you run downstairs to see the door to Desmond's room is open. One of the guards has just exited. Brian is at the stairwell. Brian has the horn.
It was returned to his lair.
It was returned to his lair.
There is the room.
And there
Can I
is
ask real quick? Is Alder somewhere else right now?
no. You 3 are together, sort of like coming down the stairs, looking at this scene of it is peak. Like you can see Cramplekin Brian, obviously. Like the horn is too sort of like unwieldy for Brian to not be like unmasking his disguise a little bit as he just sort of sees you and goes,
Don't you hiss at me, you little shit. What do you
hiss
do
whenever
here?
I want to.
It's time for a spell. When he hisses and you're screaming, Benedict grasps the golden cross around his neck, mutters,
If you kill Brian, I'll kill you.
Amicus.
It's obvious that they want to fuck. I'm obviously the most charming person on the ship.
You are
Amicus
not the most charming person on the ship. You are a little crazy person.
is, of course,
And
forced
you're a
amity.
drunken idiot.
Yeah,
When
no.
Brian hisses at me, I'm like, Amicus, obey me. And there is a flash on my cross and a flash in my eyes as I lock eyes with Brian as he's shouting at Rumpet. Now, forced amity enforces a pact on any target in mid-range. So long as no harm comes to the target, they may not bring harm to another. The cantrip only works on a target once and lasts an hour.
I think you just see like his skin sizzle a little bit, and he goes like, "Ah, bollocks!"
Yes, you little fuck.
And he turns around and runs down the stairs, like a little sort of like scampery run. And one of the guards like rushes to the top of the staircase and just sort of blocks the way. And you just see the skin bubbling.
Listen, you pile of viscera. This is not the time.
It responds, but just going, and a little bit of the soul just sort of like seeps out, and it says, "It is always the time."
I only wish to speak with him.
He also wishes to speak with you, but not now.
Supper time. Then
Coughs up a little bit of soul. You hear the people from upstairs on the deck start to say, "Oh, what a delight!" And start to use the stairs behind you. And the guard says, "Supper time."
his cabin or ours?
On the deck.
On the deck. Good.
On the deck.
Thank you, Sir Rumpus.
You're welcome. I'm backing you up.
And so I think now is a good time to pause and return at supper time, where, spoilers for next week, inexplicably, Eli is on this ship as well.
Eli's woken up from his little nap.
Eli was sleepy. I mean, you know, we can self-insert. Eli was just on the ship, just enjoying the snow, you know,
Just jacking it.
sneaking about with Alder, but not during the sex. Well, that can be most choice. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in this episode 3. We will be returning to the House Crosses next week, but thank you very much for listening. And please do, if it takes your fancy, rate us on the podcast catcher of your choice with 5 stars, ideally. We'd like that. That would be nice. You can also find us on socials at Six Planes on Twitter and at Six Planes Games on Facebook. And try Six Planes. And if you can't get Six Planes, try Six Planes Games. And email us at sixplanesgames@gmail.com. It is hard to say. It's like a tongue twister. Because we'd love to hear from you.
Is it now?
And it's like,
Stop being sexy, you.
and a thank you to Oscar Russel of Watchtower Design and Tasha Sofla for our delightful music. And we'll see you all next time. I haven't missed anything, have I? Thank you very much for listening, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
I'd believe.
I should have
I'd
recorded
really
that.
believe that.
Really? Like for real?
No, not for real.
Nah, he's messing with you.
Is everyone recording on Audacity, or will Siobhan just have little snips of me saying? Well, yeah. Is everybody recording?
I'm recording.
Yeah.
No.
Fab. Well, hopefully then, Siobhan, you've
take
got an excellent preamble about London's piss rain.
Oh yeah, that should be really, really good. Let me turn down
Piss
my
rain.
let me
The
turn
piss
down my
rain of
recording
London.
level.
The London
oh, no?
piss rain.
Is that even louder somehow? How is it? This is absurd.
I will say,
why-
Siobhan, in that most recent recording, you are screaming into your microphone every time you laugh. It is shockingly loud.
I feel like we
I
had
am
this
not.
conversation last time.
It is even. I have no idea how I meant to. Okay, that's that recording level.
I think
How-
it's just your mic.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we.
Siobhan, I would recommend generally using amplify on yourself to like a -5 dB.
Yeah,
which is something that I did always do. And when it came to you laughing, I would just select that whole bit and turn that down a few decibels.